All right, let's talk about how to describe a graph here. So linear and nonlinear. Linear means a straight line with no movements at all, just a straight line. Nonlinear would be a description of this. This is nonlinear. Even though it's continuous, it is not linear. This is nonlinear. The x-intercept is when the graph line intersects with the x line. So this would be an x-intercept, so would this, and so would this. So the answer for x-intercept here would be -4, 0, and 4. The y-intercept is where the graph line intercepts with the y line, which is here at 0. Symmetry means there's somewhere where I can cut this in half and it would be the same on both sides. This graph right here does not have symmetry. Positive and negative, when is a graph positive and when is it negative? It is positive when it is above the x. It is negative when it's below the x. So this is positive, positive, positive. When we get here, this is all negative. And then when we get here, it's all positive. And then we get here, and then it continues to be negative. Increasing and decreasing, if you just read the graph from left to right and pretend you're on a roller coaster, you could easily see when it's increasing and decreasing. So if you were here, it's decreasing until you get about here, and then it starts increasing, and then it starts to decrease. So you could describe that by decreasing until it gets to -2, and then it increases until it gets to about 2.5, and then it decreases for the rest of the time. So it decreases for the points over 2.5. Then extremas. Extremas are when it changes direction. So it's going down and then increases. So this point right here would be the extrema. Okay, see, it changes directions. This is another extrema. This is a relative minimum and this is a relative maximum. Okay, you can see why it's called minimum and a maximum to that relative space. Okay, those are both extremas. You'd have to actually tell me the coordinates they're at. The end behavior is what's going to happen after it goes here. So as x decreases, y increases here. And as x increases, y decreases. And that would be the end behavior. Okay? For positive and negative, I forgot to describe exactly how you'd write it. You'd write for positive and negative is positive for all numbers less than -4, so anything in that direction. Then from -4 to 2.5, it is, -4 to 0, it is negative. And then from 0 all the way to 4, it is positive. And then anything greater than 4 is going to be negative. All right, now let's talk about this here. 7 times a number squared is 5 times the difference of k and m. So you're writing this equation out. So 7 times a number squared. So 7 times a number squared is 5 times, so is 5 times the difference of k and m. So 5 times the difference of k and m. So difference of k and m. Here we go. This one is 15 times a number subtracted from 80 is 25. So 15 times a number subtracted from 80. So we're 80. So 15 times a number is being subtracted from 80, and it is 25. So remember, subtracted from is one of those words where whatever they write is in the reverse order. All right, now we're going to be writing this out, okay? So you don't have to be fancy when you write these out. It would be the product of 6 and z subtracted by 15 is 45. Would be absolutely fine with this, okay? Now we're solving one-step equations. Remember, when you're solving one-step equations, you're doing the opposite of what is happening to the variable. So c is being subtracted by 22. So to solve this, you would add 22, which gets rid of it and leaves c by itself. But whatever you do to one side, you do to the other. And you're left with 76 in this situation. Here, m is being added with 63. So I got to get rid of 63 to leave the m by itself. So I'm going to subtract by 63, and now it's gone. I'm left with m by itself. But whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other, and I'm left with 16. So m is 16. For this one, 2 over 3 q equals 1/2. You're multiplying by 2 over 3, which means you have to divide by 2 over 3. When you divide by 2 over 3, you're really just going to multiply by 3 over 2. So when you get rid of a fraction, you actually multiply by its opposite. So this will leave me with 6 over 6, which is 1. But I multiply by 3 over 2 on this side, so I have to multiply by 3 over 2 on this side, which leaves me with 3 over 4. So q equals 3 over 4. This one now, a divided by 5. How do you get rid of the 5? You multiply by 5 on both sides. If you multiply by 5 on both sides, you're going to be left with a equals 50. Then here, 12 is being multiplied by b. So to leave b by itself, you're going to be dividing by 12. Dividing by 12, b equals 3. And those are all the one-step equations. Good luck.